your art sucks is probably something no one has ever told you directly, but for some reason it's something you always tell yourself. Yesterday, um, a friend saw my art and they were like, "Wow, you are really good." And I just said, "Yeah, thanks," but it never really felt like that was the case, right? Like every single time anyone has ever told me you're good at this, or wow, that's amazing that you did that, it never feels right. It always feels like they're just being nice, or I don't really deserve that. Like you don't understand. I'm not that good. I didn't do that well, right? I didn't draw this well, right? I didn't perform that well. And this used to happen a lot in school. I wasn't the smartest kid in class, but I was at least among like the top scoring students, right? And so when the results come out and I'm among the top, I always feel like there was a mistake. Like I don't belong here. Someone else belongs here. Someone who worked harder, right? And it never stops. Even with work, performance, everything, it never feels like I'm good enough ever for anyone. And when someone does say, "Don't you are good, you are good," it never feels right. When someone does say you suck, that feels more genuine than someone saying you're good. And this is called imposter syndrome, the feeling of not being good enough, or not deserving the praise some people are giving you. So when you look at my art and you say your art is good, it doesn't feel that way because it's not really good. Sometimes I just wake up and I go lucky with my hand, and my hand felt lucky. It felt fluid and it drew properly. Um, I used a reference to draw this. I can't actually draw this from my imagination fully. I just happened. The angle I shot this picture, I just was just like right for some reason. It wasn't the actual art. These are all like examples of things I've thought about in response to your art is good. I drew a certain image once and I took a picture of it and it came out really nice compared to how it looked on paper, right? And I did post it in a Discord server. I mean, and they're like, "Wow, that's really good." But then I thought, wait a second, that's not actually really good. That's just because the picture looks good. The way I took the picture just looked good. The actual drawing didn't look good. And the fellow artists were like, "Dude, art is art. When you take a picture and it looks good, that's your art. It's yours. You did that. You drew that and you took that picture so that it looks good." And I remember asking, "Is it okay to use a filter on my art?" Because I like the the black and white filter, and especially a while ago I liked the grainy black and white noir filter, whatever. And I asked that, "Is it okay to use this?" And they were like, "Bruh, as long as you're happy with it, if it's yours, use what you gotta use and make art. Art is just using different things to like come up with your own, with your own creation." And I was like, "Huh." And that actually made me feel a lot better about my art. But it never really stops. I don't think imposter syndrome ever really stops. And I just recently got aware of this. I just recently got aware that this is called imposter syndrome. The very first video I was talking about just drawing and art and whatever, I think I did mention that on that particular day I was talking to a few people and they were giving me some advice, right? There was on that day I couldn't draw. I tried to draw, but then I just failed and I quit. Like, nah, maybe this isn't for me. And I asked them, can I really call myself an artist if I can't even draw? I think actually the struggle is drawing for I couldn't draw for long. So I was like, why can't I draw for long when there are other artists draw for hours upon hours on end, and I'm here draw for like 30 minutes. I'm already tired and stop. Does that mean I'm not an actual? I'm not a real artist? And they were just like, that's dumb. Stop thinking like that. You gotta have more confidence in yourself. It doesn't really matter how long you draw for. Um, Everyone is different, right? Art is art. If you can put pen to paper, pencil to paper, whatever, paint, chalk, whatever, and you create something that is art, and that is your art. It's yours. But it's very easy to forget stuff like that. It's very easy to forget that you're actually good enough. I don't know how to stop this, so I can't tell you the solution because I myself don't really know. Aside from that, it exists, right? And so every time you feel like that, just remember that all those thoughts, they're not valid. When you look at your art and you think it's not good, that's not valid. It is good. Doesn't matter. It is good. Okay, but you can make it better if you want. If you feel like it can be better, look at it and study it, and like, I don't know, figure out something that about that art that you don't particularly like and fix it. I will struggle a lot with faces, and for some reason I've just like I've drawn more faces recently. I've started drawing more faces just because it's something that I'm weak at, and I thought, well, I should probably fix this before I continue with my manga, because that would probably be like a real pain in the ass to continue with. So I draw a few faces, right? Imposter syndrome is a real pain, and it's very uh and I guess it happens a lot in when you're doing anything creative, right? Because when you think of creation, it's like you get inspired by something, and you get different works, and you put together, you mash things up, you get ideas from different places, you see things and that, and you incorporate all that in your creation, and you have something that's yours, but it doesn't really feel like you deserve the credit because you were inspired by something else. You got ideas from somewhere else. The original things about whatever creation that was were very little, and you feel like the credit, you don't deserve the credit, but you do. The very fact that you combined all that to create your own original thing, that in itself is art, and you should be proud of that art. So if you feel like your art is not good enough, I want you to look at the last thing you drew. Just look at it, study it, and figure out what about that art is not good, and do not tell me everything. If it's everything, just pick one area that's like the area you hate the most, and you shouldn't hate whatever you're making. But if there is, find it. Find whatever about your art you don't like, and think about what would make you like it. Like what would make you like it? So, like for my case, if it's faces, then practice that. Just practice it, and I mean, you get better. Um, it won't happen like right there and then, but you will get better eventually, and maybe you won't feel as bad about it. And you draw something, and you think, wow, okay, my face has improved, and that's good, but I don't know, my anatomy looks a bit messed up, dude. Sure, focus on that anatomy for a bit, and just keep doing that. Whenever you look at your art, don't just don't tell yourself it's not good. It is good. You can make it better, but it is good as it is. And figure out what you can improve about that art. Do not let it beat you down. I almost quit art. I almost quit because it wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. And so I just decided, no, I'm gonna stop. I don't think I deserve to be here. Which, well, I didn't because I'm drawing now, but don't never do that. Never quit. You do deserve. You do deserve to be here, and your art is great. Just practice, dude. Just practice, and hopefully, I mean, you view art better, and like you like it more. I'm still trying to find my way of appreciating my own efforts and like you know give myself the credit, but it's hard, but I'm working towards that. Also, this is something I've just like recently become aware of, is the fact that people actually warm up or like prepare to draw, like they prepare to do art. And you see these art exercises, and they draw circles and they draw squares and they draw different shapes and whatever. I don't do that just because I just find that like super boring, and like I don't know, it's just not my thing, right? And so every time I'm drawing, I just kind of always just go for it. I just get into it. I just like wake up, pen, start drawing. And that's it. And evidently, the first thing I always draw like doesn't look as good. The first thing I draw is not good at all. And um, when I am aware of this, I'm like, guys, fine. I'm still drawing. It's fine. The first thing won't be as good. Let's just continue, right? But there are times when I forget this, and I draw for a bit. I'm like, huh, am I really that bad? Is this my true level? Like all this time, has it just been a fluke that I've been able to draw well, and now this is the real me? This is like my true level, and that's just not true. In my case, it's just because I haven't really like I haven't gotten into it. My hand is still like pretty stiff, and you know I'm still getting into it, and it's fine. If you want, you can like do a few exercises before you start drawing. It's definitely something I'll be doing more when I'm drawing something seriously. But when I'm just like sketching around in this book like this, I will probably just get into it whenever. Just get into it. But yeah, just practice and acknowledge your efforts. When I look at when I look at the drawings I did last year when I was just getting started, and the drawings I'm able to do now, there's obviously a very big difference, and I've gotten better, but it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like I've gotten better just because I don't look back on things that often. But I think it's very important to just compare yourself to how you were before instead of comparing yourself to like other people. So when you look at your art, it doesn't suck. Look at the thing you drew the last week, last month, last year, and like just compare that, and you see a very big difference. And if there's no difference,